EGM Network.
Hi, welcome to Silver Linings. Today, Janine, myself, and my friend Raul over here, we are so excited. We get to sit in here today and have a conversation with a couple of the team members and employees for our local Alzheimer and Parkinson's Association, specifically about our Walk to Remember. So we would love to introduce Courtney Sanchez.
Hello.
And Kenny Borchert.
Hello.
And they're going to have a powwow with us and you about what Walk to Remember is, what Alzheimer and Parkinson's does in our community, and we're going to learn together. So good morning.
Good morning.
Courtney, can you start us off and tell us a little bit about what is Alzheimer's and Parkinson's Association? Who do they serve? And how long have they been in our community?
Yeah, absolutely. So our organization has actually been here over 40 years. We celebrated our 40th year anniversary a couple years ago. So we're just on the crest of 42 years serving this community. It did start off as just a support group for a woman whose husband had Alzheimer's, met a woman whose husband had Parkinson's through an ad in the paper, and that one support group blossomed into what it is now today. And right now we have, over 40 programs that we offer completely free of charge. We're mainly here as a support organization, here to support families and friends that are going through these different disorders, things like memory problems, movement disorders, and then also helping to educate the general public on these disorders and how they can make it a dementia-friendly, a Parkinson's-friendly community. And we're really, really happy to be here. Thank you for having us today.
Oh, we're lucky to have you. I know that Raul has a lot of clients that he works with that find those new diagnoses, and he is often shuffling them over for some education, and as do I. But specifically, you don't run on hugs and kisses, right?
Well, we do, but a compliment to that, because all of the programs that we offer are completely free of charge. We know how hard it is for caregivers on this new journey with these disorders, so we don't want there to be one more challenge, one more hurdle for them to go through, and that's why we offer all of our programs completely free of charge. And the way we're able to do that is through grants and donations, all done here locally, because we're not affiliated with any national organization. I know Our name sounds a little bit like some of the nationals, but we are 100% local. We only serve Indian River County. Each year, we serve between 3,000 to 4,000 individuals, hopefully more. We have room for plenty more. And one of the other main factors to help us with this funding so that we can continue offering this for free is through our different fundraisers we host annually.
And you do two really big ones, right?
Yep.
So that's where Kenny comes into play today. And he is a blessing in our community in a multitude of ways, in his professional role and his personal role. But in this specific role, you are sitting as the chair of the committee for the 2025 Walk to Remember, which is one of those two really big fundraisers that they do in our community to be able to provide those services. But this is your second year, right? So you're not a newbie.
Yes, not a newbie anymore. Last year, this year's not a newbie. It's all good. All good.
So they don't give you that little extra space to make some errors and mistakes. Right now, they're like right on you.
Pretty much. No.
So tell us and tell our listeners a little bit about what is the Walk to Remember, and how many years has it been going on, and what are the goals?
Well, the Walk to Remember is to educate the community and the people that never heard of these services. This, again, is my second year, so I've learned a lot. I'm able to be more relaxed, and we did have a big walk kickoff party.
Yes. It was a blast.
We had awesome. We had team spirit. It was, kickoff football theme. And we had skits of other teams that are looking to raise money. And that's how we educate other people that's never done this to show them how to raise money, how to support a team and get a team together.
Right, because it's not just showing up. There's actual financial goals, right?
Yes.
Lofty ones. We don't need to name the number.
No, we're not.
But they're lofty because it's a little bit of a mountain to climb on behalf of all the residents and community members that come in and get to garner those free services. So you're kind of climbing the mountain for them. You've got this committee together that supports and works with you. Are you all going to be out at the Walk to Remember this year?
So that's something I have to talk to Kenny about once we're done with the podcast.
Yay!
But I was actually wanted to find out normally how many teams are involved in the Walk to Remember.
Well, each year is a little different. Yeah. I think last year we actually had like 56 teams. And so we're every year, like we hope to get more and more because it is a really great community event. It's so much more than a fundraiser because what it does is it really brings the entire community together, whether you're a sponsor, because there is sponsorship opportunities, or if you create a team with your business or your family, or if you just show up just to be there that day. It's a really, really fun event, very kind of festival style. It happens at Riverside Park. This year, it's November 15th. It is a Saturday morning. Registration opens up at 7:30 a.m. and walk begins at 9. And so in between that time, all of our community partners, everyone who wants to come out, enjoys this beautiful day under the oaks at Riverside Park. And all of our sponsors are kind of lining the walkway up to a big stage. And so it feels very much like a festival. There's different giveaways. There's people who have, Natalie's orange juice and Einstein Brothers bagels and coffee available. And we really just get together and we, hugs and kisses all around. So yes, we do run on those, Janine. But it really helps the community become aware of these services, just like Kenny said. And then we have a program on stage, and then we do the walk. We honor our veterans, of course. We do the national anthem. Our wonderful executive director, Peggy Cunningham, she's the leader of all of this, and she does this wonderful program on stage and tells the community, reminds them, why are we here? Why are we doing this? And it's just a wonderful, feel-good community event. We're normally done by like 11:30, and then everybody goes out for breakfast after. It's a really, really fun type event, and there's many different ways to be involved.
I was actually going to ask how long does it normally last, because I've been to other events, for example, Relay for Life, and that's an
all day
type of thing. So I wanted to see how long.
We're out before it gets really hot.
Okay,
it's usually nice and cool that time of year.
And at the event itself, are there? What time do you, I think you mentioned you start at 9?
The walk starts at 9, but the program on stage usually begins, we normally start around 8:30.
8:30.
Yeah.
15,
and we even do a warm-up together on stage. John Sammartano, he's wonderful. He's with Jazz Fitness. He actually he's been doing our warm-ups for eons.
I don't even remember not having him on the stage. And I've been to the last 15 of them. So,
So
no, I mean, it sounds like a great event.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's really beautiful. I would like to add that you don't have to be a walker. We see communities that come out with their residents who might be in wheelchairs. It is a 2.1 mile walk, and it's beautiful in the morning. And you see a lot of family members who are honoring their loved ones who battle that exact kind of scenario. And they get to go out in the sunshine and be part of the hype. And it is very moving when you see 800 plus people lining up at a gate ready to honor others in our community, their loved ones, maybe their neighbors. It's pretty moving. It's a very moving experience for many, many people.
Yeah. And it's a great way to connect back with some people that we don't always get to connect because we're all so busy, so it's a great way for us to stay connected to the community and vice versa.
And it's all ages. It's not just elderly. It's all ages.
Even
to
puppies.
See them line up.
Yes, lots of puppies that walk. Yes.
It's amazing. Amazing.
It is. I see another thing is that a lot of the teams will come out in outfits to identify that they're together. And so there's a lot of vibrance, a lot of color, and a lot of excitement. The team itself goes out kind of early, around 7, sets up banners,
it's actually
gets tables.
It's 6 in the morning.
Before the sun even comes up.
The sun hasn't even risen by most of the time.
And the day before, we put out signs, different areas around Vero Beach to let them know how to get there. So we always look for volunteers for that to help put out signs. So it's something how to get there.
Let me ask, are there any, since you mentioned like some teams get dressed up and things like that, are there any like contests during before the walk where a team will get crowned, best team or something like that?
We've done that over
before,
the past.
yeah.
That has happened, and it is a little fun when we get that. We usually have a sponsor that might want to step into role and identify to be a gift giver to those and create that hype. And we have done that in the past.
And our Walk to Remember committee, we started a lot earlier this year in the planning process. Now that with the kickoff party is done, the one that Kenny just mentioned, we're going to really be gearing up as a committee to discuss all of those possibilities. Do we want to bring some of that stuff back? Because we used to have awards for like the best team spirit, the best team T-shirt, because all the teams make their own T-shirts. Which team raised the most money. So that's definitely a possibility. It's something the committee, we're all working on those fun things that we can add into the program.
Now hold that thought. Don't ask another question, because it's time for us to go to a commercial break, but then we're going to be right back because we couldn't do the show without them. Thanks. We'll be right back.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Hey you! Host your very own show every week at Evergreen Media Network in Vero Beach. Go live to YouTube and Facebook with up to 4 people and your very own producer. Be heard on more than 15 podcast platforms and local radio. All you have to do is show up and talk. Your guests can join from anywhere in the world. It's easy to get started with the largest podcast studio on the Treasure Coast. Contact Evergreen Media to tour the studio.
Painless, right? We are so lucky to have commercial sponsors, and I would be remiss if I didn't do a shout out to our actual show sponsors. Dill, Evans, and Rotoback. They are such great professionals with longevity in our community on elder services and law, as well as trust law and real estate and all those wonderful aspects, as well as we want to thank and call out to the Rooney and Rooney team who have been in Vero Beach doing legal services both at civil and family levels for over 30 years. If you should ever have a legal need, God forbid, but if you do, reach out to them because I promise they're going to treat you well. On that note, we're back and we want to pick up where we left off. I had to shut you down for a second before you open the next box of questions. And I think I interrupted just as Raul was going to ask a question. Did you want to finish that thought before we jump into the next?
Yes. So you were mentioning that you already had a kickoff a party to kind of get things going. How are there other follow-up meetings that you get together with the team to kind of set a goal for what you want to do throughout the year leading up to the event?
Yes, we do. We do monthly meetings with the committee, and we're great this year to have a bigger committee. We've got realtors, we've got all kind medical. Just a different genre of people, and it's actually turned out awesome. We even have on our team this year a member of Alzin Parks that he gets services from them also. Him and his wife came on board, and it's great.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the nice things still, even after 40 years of the organization being active in our community, it is still very much grassroots. Because if you didn't have those feet on the ground supporting the committee, the events would not go on, the funding wouldn't be brought in, and they wouldn't be able to provide as many services. If I'm correct, you have seen pretty consistently around 4,000 plus members of our community that come into Alzheimer's and Parkinson's associations for one service or another, right?
Right.
Yeah, so last year it was like 39, 50 something, and so it's right around 4,000. But that's just the people who we actually serve directly. There's so many more that, I'm hoping we touch, with this wonderful community event. We take part in anything we're invited to, like any health fairs or presentations, things like that. So that number is probably more.
I'm sure it is. I am curious about something here, and at least for our listeners' purpose of comprehending. How easy is it to create a team and come out? And does a team have to be 20, 30 people?
No, you can have it. You can have as little or more, whatever you feel you want your team to be. We always happy to have more, is the merrier, bigger support, and we give them ideas in their packet when they want to do a sponsorship of what you could do for a team thing to, ideas of what you want to do, gift baskets, or if you want to do a sock hop, or if you want to do a little, after hours event. That's all in there. Do a car wash,
Ideas on how a team could go about raising
Correct.
funds, because it doesn't always have to be directly out of your pocket or your team members' pockets. It could be a little hard work and elbow grease to present and bring up some dollars to connect in and be able to donate. So how easy is it to set up a team?
It's pretty easy. So we have a couple of different ways that you can do it. One of the easiest ways is just by going to our website. It's a matter of clicking a button and filling out your information. Then you get to pick your team name. People have gotten very creative with some of their team names, so some really fun ones this year, which we're excited about.
Yes.
And anybody can join your team. When they go to sign up for the walk, it's just a matter of filling in your information, clicking yes to signing a waiver, and then you choose which team you want to join, or you can even just join as an individual. You don't have to be on a team. The team can be one person, or it can be 50, And also, if for, not everybody is comfortable with online, and clicking buttons and whatnot. And so you could even just give us a call. You can email us. There's plenty of people on our team that can set up the team for you over the phone. It's really, really easy. We try to make it as simple as possible, not to hold anybody back.
I know I'm not super tech savvy, and I had one of your counterparts, Jay, actually sign up our team. And now we have that link, and we're just kind of like sharing that amongst our team
There you
members
go,
so
yeah.
that they can ask their family, friends to support them. And it just kind of spider graphs out from there and then works its way back in to be an actual financial lift to the organization and to all the community members that get to benefit from it.
Well, let me ask, apart from doing it online or a phone call, could any potential person who's interested in going to the walk, could they go to one of these upcoming meetings and ask questions and possibly sign up for a team
Definitely.
Absolutely. Everything
Absolutely.
we do is open to the public. I mean, there's even people who can just show up that day,
A lot of people do
yeah,
that.
they see
and
the
it's
signs and they can
amazing.
just show up, and either create their team the day of or just register as an individual or just come and see what it's all about and ask questions. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, like I said, I have been coming for 15 years to the Walk to Remember. And I come because in my family, we have had the experience of Alzheimer's. And when I first met Peggy many, many moons ago, I was blown away because at the time, the entire organization was based off of volunteers. And we can do that when we're small, right? And initially, when we start things out, we service a smaller group and it grows and grows. Well, this was a much needed organization, a much needed group to get together. There were so many families impacted by Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, or better yet, memory and motion disorders, that it was a blessing in our community, and it was bound to grow. But you need dollars to support that, right? And it grew very professionally, bringing in actually paid roles into the position, leaving a really good, strong base then from there. It was going to be a consistent growth, and you could see it happening over the years. And so today, as we're standing in, and it's going to be the 22nd Walk to Remember. And I couldn't be happier to be able to say that I get to support this organization and I get to be party to kind of the sweat and tears behind the scene. And I consider it a privilege because it gives me some insight to other families and what they're enduring and how I can be a blessing in my community through working with you all. So when I was teasing Raul that, hey, are you going to be on? And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking we're going to set that up. But that's what our role, our committee members are, right? We go out, Kenny is guiding us, and he's like giving us lists of community members that we want to see engage. So I know that means you're going to have committee members going out to companies all over the county, right?
Right.
And what is their goal?
Their goal is, we set a goal for them this year. Every committee meeting, we would like them to have at least one sponsor come on board.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're looking to really increase those fundings so that you can increase the programs, right?
Correct.
Because over the years, as I mentioned, there has been a transition of growth, both in population in our community and diagnosis, and the need for the community members that are now facing new life, kind of, you know, how are we going to make those adjustments? Where are we going to learn? Where are we going to build an inner community for ourselves? So that's exactly what Alzheimer's and Parkinson's Association does for our members here. And as you mentioned, there's no cost to them. Their struggle is hard enough.
Right.
And so Alz and Parks actually steps in and kind of tries to alleviate some of that. It's a really beautiful organization and what they're doing, or what you all are doing in that role. I can say that it takes a lot of bravery on Kenny's part to take the lead of a committee. The committee consists of a multitude of individuals in our community, attorneys and, physicians and third-party providers that are clinical and some are not. And they would normally, some of them, be competitors in the world of business, but in this environment, we're all on the same team.
Same team.
So our goal is to just be a support structure. And I'm extremely proud to be able to go out and knock on those doors on behalf of Alz and Parks and Kenny and say, hey, come on out, and you're going to get those phone calls. You're going to get people walking into your businesses in the next few weeks, just like myself, and they're going to be carrying blue folders, and they're going to be like, do you want to join us? So put a lot of consideration into that, because it's not necessarily has to be a PR thing for you, but rather a goodwill part of how you're living in our community and where you're doing business, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of benefit to being a sponsor. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So tell us a little bit about how, if you were looking just from the business side of it, how does a sponsor gain and garner from their involvement?
So you're absolutely right. There's so many benefits. Even if it doesn't affect us personally, we're all going to come into contact with someone with one of these diseases, especially as businesses. You never know who's going to walk into the bank, who you're going to run into at Publix. And so even though it would benefit you on that side, there's other benefits to being a sponsor for the Walk to Remember as well. For example, depending on which level, there's about 5 different levels that you can join, 4 or 5. And we even will make a new level for you if you want. Right, we've done that on occasion. If somebody wanted to be in between, we're good at that, because the support is very much appreciated. But things that you would get is like social media coverage. We have a social media base where, on Facebook, Instagram, we have a website. We have a lot of, like you said, we serve almost 4,000 people in the county, and we're all over the place, everywhere and anywhere that we can be. And so we actually help get your name out there also through these different ads, through these thank yous with the sponsorship on the day of. We have sponsor signs kind of everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
And depending on, which sponsor level you come in at, depends on, which sign you'll be at in which location. And everybody who joins the walk on the day of actually gets a little bag, with a packet of information. And in there is all those sponsorships as well. Your company logo on our website, so the higher up you go in the sponsorship, the more bang for the buck that you get.
Yeah.
But we try to feature our sponsors in any way, shape, or form that we have. Specific lists of those benefits are actually in our sponsorship packet. So if you are interested in that, you can absolutely contact our organization or go on our website. It's all there, all the information.
That makes it pretty easy. Whether you're doing it for goodwill or for business, you're covered, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Raul?
Well, I was going to ask, is there a date for the next meeting if anybody wants to, go out there and learn more and possibly sign up?
Absolutely. So you can really walk in our door anytime. You can come in any single time. But July 15th is our next Walk to Remember committee meeting. But we're always available.
Okay, great.
We are so grateful for your time. I know that you both have jobs and roles and checklists for your day, and we are just impressed by what you're doing and the weight that you carry for others so that they can stand straight. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful as a community member that I can constantly refer Alzheimer's and Parkinson's Association as a resource. If somebody needed to reach out to you, call out a phone number right now.
772-563-0505.
Courtney will always answer her phone calls. Please don't hesitate. Get involved. Be a part of the solution and come on out for a beautiful morning. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.